It's 4:30. I'll call this meeting, well, I guess we're not calling it to order, right? We'll begin. First thing on the agenda is that Councilwoman Elizabeth Walters and Executive Shapiro and I will present a joint commendation to representatives of the Northeast Ohio Carpenters Joint Apprenticeship and Training Center on the occasion of their 25th anniversary. Okay, well, up here.
All right.
So it's all you.
Hi, April.
Good to see you. I've never seen you before. Hi, I'm Liz.
This is Derek Harbarger.
Nice to meet you.
I'm good. I'm
Erin,
good.
we're the only one that didn't get to pronounce, so she has to read it. Too small. So it's my honor to present this commendation. I'll read it out. This is for the Northeast Ohio Carpenters Joint Apprenticeship and Training Center. Whereas the Northeast Ohio Carpenters Joint Apprenticeship and Training Center, the NEOJATC, is considered one of the top carpenters apprenticeship training facilities in the country. Northeast apprentices receive hands-on instruction, including the use of the industry's latest technology. Located in Richfield, Ohio, the campus has over 58,000 square feet of indoor training areas and 28,000 square feet of outdoor training areas, which includes individual shops for each building trades program: commercial carpenter, residential carpenter, millwright, pile driver, floor layer, and cabinet maker, as well as classrooms and a state-of-the-art technology learning center. There are over 1,100 apprentices enrolled at the Richfield Training Center. And whereas the training center serves union carpenter apprentices and journeymen from 30 Ohio counties, the center also offers year-round advanced training classes for journeymen to keep up with the latest methods and technologies. NEOJATC represents one trade with many crafts. Its members touch every aspect of a construction project from foundation to finish. They're frequently the first on the job and the last to leave. Carpenters can specialize in many crafts that give them the skills and knowledge necessary to become a master carpenter who can tackle any job. And whereas NEOJATC programs are updated regularly to stay up to date with the latest tools and technologies and evolve with the needs of employers and the end customer. From hands-on or classroom learning in the training center to one-on-one mentoring on a job site, men and women receive training that is in demand at job sites throughout Ohio. And whereas NEOJATC graduates are always regarded as being the most skilled and productive members on a job site by their employers. As a result, they are routinely assigned to the challenging job sites, earn a great hourly wage and fringe benefits, and are respected as the true professionals that they are. And whereas 2025 marks the 25th anniversary of the Northeast Ohio Carpenters Joint Apprenticeship and Training Center.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
UBC carpenters build houses, skyscrapers, hospitals, bridges, and more, in all cases providing skills and experience that can only be developed with union training. Now, therefore, be it known by all and declared by the Council and Executive of the County of Summit, State of Ohio, that this Council and Executive recognize the vital role that the Northeast Ohio Carpenters Joint Apprenticeship and Training Center plays in training skilled tradespeople, providing opportunities for individuals to advance their careers, and strengthening the local economy. We salute them on their 25th anniversary and urge all citizens to join in honoring them on this 5th day of May in the year 2025.
Thank you very much.
Oh, one more.
And I just want to add one quick thing that these guys never brag enough about. The apprenticeship program is completely funded by the carpenters themselves. They get no public assistance or funding.
No, you guys said enough. No, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
We have another one?
That's just,
Who's gonna talk? I'm Vanna.
We're doing a role reversal. Okay. So first, all of you from the team, would you stand up? We want to give you a round of applause. These young women have knocked it out of the park, and we are so very, very proud of you and what you've accomplished, and we're very excited for the futures that you're going to build for yourself and our community. So thank you. We do have a proclamation that I wanted to say, unless council wants to add anything from that? We're
I-
good? Okay.
I just want to say,
Erin?
Madam Executive, if I may, as a coach of the 4th place mock trial team, I had a chance to see these young ladies in action, and they were extremely impressive. So all the credit in the world to them and to their coaches. You all clearly worked very hard, and you earned this win, and I was very impressed. And as a woman lawyer myself, sometimes over my 20 years, I've been the only one in the room. I'm very happy to see an all-woman team. I think it's pretty cool. So congratulations.
And while they're coming up, if I could, I think it's extraordinary that these young ladies have done what they've done and what it means to us as a community. Recognizing today is only one part of it, but what excites me the most is I'm hopeful that as you move on with your careers, those careers are here in Summit County, hopefully, if not Summit County, at least Ohio, because you will be ambassadors for not only Hoban and your judges and all the work you've done there, but also for this community. We congratulate you ladies for an extraordinary state victory and for making us all proud here at home.
And I'll just mention that we have internships up here. You're going to hold that? Okay. Whereas on Saturday, March 8, 2025, the Archbishop Hoban High School mock trial gold team competed in the Ohio Center for Law-Related Education's 41st Annual High School mock trial state championship at the Ohio Judicial Center, where the Ohio Supreme Court sits. This undeniable team earned the state championship title, displaying their strength, diligence, and intelligence, wit, and grace. As an all-girls team, how fitting that this undeniable team completed their exceptional win on International Women's Day. Whereas the state championship team is packed with our impressive next-generational legal minds. Now, bear with me if I pronounce the names wrong, okay? Kate Polk, Rachel Greer, Cassidy Wren, Julia Lee, Gabriella Alba, Sophia, I'm going to do this one. We're going? Well done. Okay. Enza Naltempi, okay, and Rebecca Nauman. They are supported by their teacher advisor, Jared Kopp, and their legal advisors, Carol Tran, partner at Hannon, Campbell, and Rob Powell, Mike Capers, retired Akron Police Department Deputy Chief, Kurt Whitendorf, retired principal at Roddick, Linton, and Belfast, and Chris Partner, principal at Roddick, Linton, and Belfast. Now, therefore, let it be known by all and declared by this council and the executive of Summit County, state of Ohio, that this council and the executive commend the Archbishop Hoban Mark Trial Gold Team on their 25 state championship title and wish them continued success in all their future endeavors throughout their academic and professional careers. We urge all citizens to join in celebrating this 5th day of May in the year 2025. Congratulations to all.
Wonderful. All right, at this time, Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Office of Finance and Budget will present a financial update to council.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. I apologize for just getting this out at the meeting. I will have Mark send it out electronically this evening. But I wanted to go through, I want to get on a cadence where we're presenting the quarterly financials to council shortly after the quarter closes. We were going to do this last week, but with all the presentations last week, I shifted it to this week, and that let me add April numbers. So these numbers are through April. Going through, you can see the general property tax is up 5.7% or expected to be at the end of the year. I would point out that through April, there's a timing difference. So you'll see the $15.2 million that posted in April. Last year, first half property tax settlement didn't hit until May. So next month, you'll see that catch up. Going down the list, property transfer tax is up year over year in April, but you'll see I'm forecasting for it to still be down given where mortgage rates are and refinancing and things like that. So it's going to come up a little bit, but I'm still being a little conservative on how that might end the year. Defensive indigent is down just for the sheer reimbursements from the state and the amount of legal work that we're having done, plus some efforts have shifted to the public defender's office. So a reduction in the defensive indigents will see an increase in the professional services lines and contract services lines where those contracts fall. The state and federal public defender, that is revenue for the reimbursement of the Summit County Legal Defenders contract. If council will recall, this year we took a different strategy with that group to where it used to be where the municipalities would pay the legal defender's office, but then we would have to get the reimbursement and then pass it back onto the municipality. So council approved us entering into agreements to directly contract with the municipalities. So we pay the legal defender's office for the municipalities and then issue them an invoice for the unreimbursed portion from the state. So that's why that number is up 75% year over year. Fees for auditors and fees for treasurers I have tied to the increase in the property tax, so falling real estate at 5.7%. Almost to the bottom, the deposits, investments. This is the one we're paying attention to because last year we finished the year at $22 million, but as we move through the next 18 months, council has approved $180 to $200 million of cash going out the door with all these capital projects and broadband. So that interest earnings is going to drop. I have it in here at 16.7 for this year, so a reduction of 24.1%. Now, the one thing we have been able to do with the Investment Advisory Board is go through, and I have a monthly meeting with the fiscal office right now to tell them what kind of major spending we see every month with these projects, so they're able to time out when we're buying maturities and how liquid we have to be. So they've been able to invest a significant amount more in our core portfolio because of the timing of conversation. So as we move through, I think this is the last year we have some maturities that are still less than 1% that from a long time ago that we're reinvesting still at north of 4%. So we're locking ourselves in for the next 3, 4, 5 years with the maturities we're buying now, but that's going to come to an end at some point in time. So we're just being very careful about not being so reliant on investment earnings as we look at what the end of the year is going to look like. So that's where we are on that. The parking deck lease is up. I'm showing it up 5% for the year, but you'll see 57% for April. And part of that is we found a couple of old invoices from the Common Pleas Court that were owed to ABM, which then gets paid to us. So it's a little inflated just because there's some prior invoices that got paid in this year. Going on to page 2, the reimbursement for indirect costs is up a little more than 9%. That is the cost allocation plan that we pay Maximus to calculate for us, and those expenditures are collecting from actual expenditures from 2 years ago. So that's why that fluctuation is there. So in 2023, our expenses would have been a little higher than what they were in 2022. So this is just the recoupment of those indirect costs. On the last line for revenue, you'll see we had an advance in of $1.3 million. So this is where we take at the end of the year and we look at what projects or grants or whatever funds that we have that are in the negative. We advance money into those funds to make them zero or positive So that way, all of our funds, we're not getting an audit finding on our state audit, and then come January, February, we go in and pull all that money back. So the advance is in, it's just us repaying ourselves the money we loaned to shore up those funds. So on the next line, you can see I take out, it says without advances in, so this is the real activity for the year through April, and then the projection for year to date. So it's just taking that advance in from last year out as well as the one from this year. On the expenditure side, we're showing salaries up a little bit. Overtime, while it's down from last year, it's almost double what we budgeted for this year, and I actually have a meeting with the Sheriff's Department next week to kind of look at what's going on with overtime. That's the biggest contributor there. Health insurance is up a little bit, which we expected with our premium increase this year. The bottom section, the accounts that start with 530, the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 on the page, it looks a little wonky because I'm working with fiscal to clean this up. This is where the indigent defense contracts are being laid in, and we recently converted to Ohio Public Defender's online payment system. And the way those extractions are happening right now, the coding got misaligned. So we're cleaning that up right now, and it should look easier to see year over year on those last ones in the next financial update to council. The only other thing I'll show is on the last page. Right now I've got us on our transfers out to capital funds at $10 million. And I don't have an advances out included yet because I'm waiting to see, as we get a little further into the year, what that shore up might need to look like for end of the year fund balances. So overall, I have us ending with 1.1 million in surplus on the schedule for year to date. Now, I update this every month, so this is going to change in May, it's going to change in June when I come back to council, but we just try to keep track of what's trending and what's coming in the door and go through that. And so the last page on here just summarizes everything I just said into the major categories on the revenue and expense side. So overall property tax, overall sales tax. So sales tax, there's 2 things that are happening right now with sales tax. It is actually down a little bit. It has slowed down. We did factor a little bit of that in there. But in April of last year, I think this April was the last month we had to do it. There was a $1.4 million sales tax refund that had to take place. And so both the county and Metro had to repay $1.4 million each to this company through the Department of Taxation. And we took that repayment over 12 months, and April of 25 was the last one of those months. So we should hopefully see sales tax increase by at least $100,000 a month. As long as the economy stays where it is. So it was already artificially reduced for the last 12 months, and so hopefully we'll see that recover. Going through the rest of it, it's again the same summary, so 165 million in anticipated revenue and 163.9 million in anticipated expenses. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I will get this set out tonight.
Good evening. The time is 4:49, and I will call.
I'm sorry, I thought you had a question.
Oh, no, sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Ms. Pamela did want to give some comments before we begin. So, yeah, we'll just remind you that it's 3 minutes. And,
you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you know the drill.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
But if you could state your name for the record.
My name is Reverend Pamela Pinckney. My title is Apostolate. I'm doing something new for the liberty of women through religion and politics. This is for you, prosecutor. Okay. I am in support of Resolution 2025-130. I just ask that you all would make sure the Public Works Committee for the sanitary sewer easement, I just ask that you would make sure the signage is appropriate so it doesn't cause confusion in the neighborhood so people can come and go to work and that type of thing. I am interested in 2025-132, the partnership with United Way for the Sojourner Truth Building. I'd like to know, who else do you partner with for that project? And would you be willing to accept other organizations and entities for partnership for that project? For 2025-133, My concern with the Drug Law Enforcement Fund grant is when, where, and how these drugs are being poured into these communities where law enforcement is needed, and whether other options are in place to help law enforcement to deal with the drug activity in these communities. I am against Resolution 2025-137 because the Department of Job and Family Services, as well as Children and Family Services, need some cultural education because they don't fairly allocate funding to certain communities and certain ethnic groups. I am interested in the terminology of 2025-138 for your purpose in voters who listen to you. Certain vendors is very vague language, and I am against Resolution 2025-139. I was initially for it when it said that it was giving information, but I'm against it because too many people are being medicated with mental health medications when mental health medications do not heal mental illness. I'd like to know what else are other options to address the mental health services, because when people are homeless, it's not because everybody's mentally ill, and domestic violence is not because the victim is mentally ill. It's because a person doesn't want to be abused, and mental illness medications don't solve those issues. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, Councilman Ford, I yield to you.
Good evening. The time is 4:53, and I will call the Public Works Committee meeting to order. Starting with 2025-127, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Geauga Highway Co. for the Stubbins, Farnham, and Hecker Drainage and Roadway Improvement Project located in Richfield Township in Council District 1 in an amount not to exceed $140,497.20 for the engineer emergency.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineer's Office. Richfield Township approached us about this specific project a couple years ago, and we've worked with them trying to figure out exactly how to address their flooding and drainage issues. And it's a township road, and it's a township problem, but we did kind of come up with a solution, and we applied for OPWC funds. We were successful. OPWC is going to pick up 90% of the cost of this one, and the township will be paying the local share of 10%, and we'll just be running the project for them. So no county funds involved, but we will run it for them. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from committee? Questions from council?
I'll move on this. Good job, Heidi.
Yeah, thanks.
Moved by-
We're doing a lot more of these types, or we're, doing the little projects for the townships when, they just don't have the staff to be able to apply for these grants and administer the project.
It's very needed all over the place.
Yes, it is.
The winter was very hard on the road.
Yes, it was.
A motion by Councilman Schmidt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2025-128, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a renewal, second and final, of a professional service contract with Davie Resource Group, Inc. for the evaluation and vegetation cleaning on detention and retention ponds located within assessed township subdivisions located in Council Districts 1, 4, and 5 for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the engineer emergency.
Thank you. Residents living in subdivisions built after 1985 pay a drainage maintenance fee on their property taxes in order to keep up the stormwater facilities within their own subdivision. That money goes to two accounts. We have one for District 1, which is the townships in northern Summit County, and then District 2, the townships in southern Summit County. This is for the northern part. Annually, we do this professional service contract this one's with Davie Resource Group. They inspect all the subdivision facilities, the drainage basins. They make recommendations of which one need work, and then they actually do some of the work clearing out those basins. But this is just a renewal. I think we go out for new contracts next year. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from committee? From council members? May I have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Hyam. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2025-129, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a renewal, second and final, of a professional service contract with Emerald Environmental, Inc. for the evaluation and vegetation cleaning on detention and retention ponds located within assessed township subdivisions located in Council Districts 5 and 8 for a one-year term for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the engineer emergency.
Thank you. Exactly the same thing, but with a different company, with Emerald Environmental and for the southern district of assessed subdivisions. May I happy to answer any questions?
Questions from committee? From council? May I have a motion? A motion from Councilwoman Dickinson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. 2025-130, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of agreements for the acquisition of sanitary sewer easements over a portion of Akron-Cleveland Road and Seasons Road for construction of Project Q165-1, Akron-Cleveland Road Sanitary Sewer Extension located in Boston Township in Council Districts 1 and 3 for an amount not to exceed $130,855 for the Executive Department of Sanitary Sewer Services emergency.
Thank you, Chair. Michael Vinay, Executive Shapiro's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services. This project has been in the works for close to 10 years, believe it or not. So we started with the construction of a pump station on Seasons Road. That brought a lot of development down along Route 8. This project will extend up Akron-Cleveland Road, work within the Boston Township, City of Cuyahoga Falls, JED, also have properties ready to tie in, eager to tie in, and there's a lot of vacant land right for development there as well. So we need these easements. Without them, we would run into sewer segments 40 feet deep. We had 2 appraisals done to verify the easement price, and with this done, design will be complete and we can move on to construction. Happy to answer any questions.
Question, Councilwoman Dickinson.
Does this area have water?
Yes, City of Cuyahoga Falls extended water either last year or the year before.
Excellent, thanks.
Any other questions, committee or council? Councilman Schmidt?
Mike, this has been in the works for quite a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, we originally constructed the pump station in 2006, began design on this in 2015. The executive supporting it with ARPA funding, so yeah, it's been in the works for a while.
Glad to see you making progress on this.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Councilman Lacotte?
I'd like to move on this, please.
Motion from Councilman Lacotte. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
2025-131, a resolution declaring, is that mine? Yep, that's mine. A resolution declaring the month of May 2025 as Building Safety Month in Summit County to recognize the importance of building codes and standards as vital safeguards which protect our residents from hazards and support our economic growth and resilience for the Executive Department of Sanitary Sewer Services, Division of Building Standards, emergency.
Thank you, Councilman Ford and the rest of council. This resolution is an awareness campaign that the International Code Council puts on every year for the month of May. International Code Council, they're the folks that actually write our codes that the state of Ohio adopts. And they just try to get awareness out for what the building professionals do for safety, because a lot of times we see the police and fire and they come, you know, when something major happens, but we're kind of at the front end. We're making sure that the construction is safe and secure, that it's energy efficient. We're keeping up with technologies. That's why the codes are always changing. So International Code Cycle, they update their codes on a 3-year cycle for 2 main reasons. The main reason is for technology constantly changing, especially for electrical codes. And the second reason is we learn from disasters, unfortunately. And we take what we've learned from those disasters and we put that information into the codes to try to prevent those things from happening in the future. And I think that's really why in the modern day now, we don't see a lot of major disasters that span multiple buildings next to each other. And that's attributed to the codes that we're using today. And so this is really just for information for that. We're going to be posting some information on our website with links for citizens that they can see. We're going to have some safety plans for them, reminding them to change their batteries and their smoke detectors and that type of thing, and also to change their smoke detectors every 10 years. Those are only good for 10 years. So, thank you.
Any questions from committee? Councilwoman Hyam?
Yeah, so you said that you're going to push stuff out through your website. Is that also going to be pushed through the executive's social media and other ways to get the information out?
Yes, I'll send it to the communications department, and they'll do their magic.
Councilwoman McKinney?
They also use research and build science to help update the code.
Yes, so the way the codes are updated, there's meetings throughout the year, every code cycle, and design professionals, contractors, building officials all come together and actually discuss code changes. It's just like when you have a change here to a law. Everybody discusses it, it's put up for a motion, it's put up for a vote, and if it passes, then it gets adopted into the code. So it's just not one person or one group that makes these changes. It's actually a coalition of government resources, design professionals, and contractors in the field.
Any other questions?
Should we do this council as a whole?
Council as a whole? Did you want to ask your question?
Well, I was just curious. What's the lifespan of a carbon monoxide detector?
I would say 10 years as well.
Yes. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Motion by Councilwoman Dickinson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
See,
you
I'm
all.
not- I'm not used to getting the awareness months in public works, so that was a good one. Thank you. The time is 5:03, and we'll adjourn Public Works.
Planning and Economic Development will open at 5:04. We have one piece tonight, 2025-132, a resolution authorizing the Third Amendment to the open-end mortgage and the First Amendment to the promissory note between the United Way of Summit and Medina counties and the County of Summit for the Sojourner Truth Building at 37 North High Street, located in the city of Akron in Council District 4, to extend the maturity date of the promissory note and amend the payment terms of the promissory note for the Executive's Department of Law and Risk Management and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. So 5 years ago, the county entered into an agreement with the United Way of Summit and Medina for the purchase of the Truth Building on High Street for $1,250,000. We are in year 6 of that lease schedule, and we were approached by United Way, and Annie McFadden's here if you have any specific questions for her. But as of 2025, there's a balance of $625,000 on this lease. They've requested for us to extend that lease. So we are proposing to council to extend the remaining 5 years to 10 years and allow them to skip a payment in 2025. And in return for that, for the last 5 years, we've added a nominal interest rate of 2.62%. Which will bring in an extra $25,000 to the county in interest for the extension. And again, with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and Annie's here as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Does council have any Yeah, go ahead, Councilman Cajun.
I'm just curious, what changed? Why is this a good idea?
Yeah, happy to. Thank you so much for having me. I see a lot of familiar faces here. For those of you I don't know, my name is Annie McFadden. I am interim president and CEO of United Way of Summit and Medina. Thank you so much for the question. This has been we've been strong partners with the county for a very long time. The county executive, Phil Bryan, the entire staff has been really great partners in working through some cash flow issues we've had this year. It is a tenuous time for nonprofits. I don't think I need to tell anybody here this. And I think with the combination of just uncertainty in the economy right now, coupled with some uncertainty in federal grants, I just went to our county partners and said, if you guys can give us some flexibility on this, it'd be truly appreciated. And we'll continue with our obligations, and they were willing to do so. So that was really the creation of it. It's just so we can sustain and continue to grow our services, give us a little flexibility, as this definitely feels like a transition year for a lot of nonprofits, and they were happy to extend that, obviously, at the will of council as well. So I appreciate the consideration.
Thanks, Yanni.
Sure.
Just as a follow-up, so we've got a 5-year extension of the mortgage. I think you said lease, but this is a mortgage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Adding interest at pretty reasonable below market rate, and is that enough? Does that solve your problem?
My hope is yes. It was a 10-year lease to begin with. We were halfway through mortgage. We were halfway through. So I'm really hoping that we can catch up even before the full of the term. But it really just kind of came together as an amalgamation of things that really just needed some flexibility this year. So my hope is absolutely it will be enough, and we'll be able to get our feet under us, and it won't be a problem moving forward. But there's just been a lot of transition, a lot of upheaval, and it's just creating a little bit of uncertainty for us. So again, we have this beautiful partnership that we can easily lever with everybody's support here. So we just thought we'd take advantage. But at this time, it is my commitment that it will be enough.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wilhite?
Yeah, Annie, you're spot on in terms of where nonprofits are right now, given everything that's going on. But I just want to thank you and commend you for the transparency that you've shown since you've taken over the leadership role, and very much appreciate it from those of us that practice in the community. Although the news isn't always good, it's there and it's transparent, and that gives us the opportunity to respond and to act accordingly. So thank you for that.
That means a lot coming from you, Councilman. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Any other questions from the committee? From council? Do I have a motion? A motion from Councilman Wilhite on 2025-132. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thanks,
Thank
Amy.
you all very much.
Thanks, Bill. And Planning and Economic Development will close at 5:08.
And at 5:08, I will open the Public Safety Committee. First item on the agenda, 2025-130. Resolution authorizing the executive to execute any documents necessary to accept the award from the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Office of Criminal Justice Services of a Drug Law Enforcement Fund grant in the amount of $136,875.02, with a 25% local cash match requirement of $45,625.01, for a total amount of $182,500.03 for the period 7/1/25 through 6/30/26 for the sheriff, and declaring an emergency.
Good evening. I'm Sue Myers. I'm the Sheriff's Office Grant Program Analyst, and I'm here as a request for approval for this grant. It's a reoccurring yearly grant. As far as I'm aware, at least a 10-year reoccurring grant. It reimburses the wages and fringe benefits of one detective, as well as rent payments and some expenses related to fuel and vehicle maintenance and repair. And as the award amount is mentioned, and we're looking for the cash match. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Okay, then do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Lacotte. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Item 2025-134, resolution authorizing the executive to execute any documents necessary to accept the award from the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Office of Criminal Justice Services of an Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant for the period 1/1/25 through 12/31/25 in the amount of $90,579.54, with a 25% local cash match requirement of $30,193.18, for a total amount of $120,772.72 for the sheriff, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Again, a request for your approval for the grant match funds. And this JAG grant, as it's referred to, it's a reoccurring yearly grant, again, over at least a 10-year period that I'm aware of. This grant reimburses the wages and the fringe benefits of the drug unit commander. Thank you.
Are there any questions on this one? Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Schmidt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. 2025-135. Thank you. A resolution authorizing the executive to execute a sub-grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services for grants received by the Prosecutor's Child Support Enforcement Agency during the state fiscal years 2026 and 2027 for the period 7/1/25 through 6/30/27 for the Prosecutor's Child Support Enforcement Agency and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Jennifer Toltz from CSEA. This agreement is one that is required biannually from the state, and it is in effect for the next 2 state fiscal years. It establishes a 3-way relationship between the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services and the Department of Children and Youth, with CSEA as the subrecipient of those funds. It also establishes the terms and conditions and requirements governing the administration and use of that financial assistance received or utilized by CSEA, and ensuring that we provide the local match that CSEA is required to provide. So we get about 66% of our federal funding, and then we're required to provide the 34% local match. And we also do get incentive funding, which the state receives from the federal government as well, based on our performance. So that's this agreement. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Schmidt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 2025-136, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a 60-month lease with Quadient Leasing USA, Inc. at state term pricing for electronic certified mail, including software licensing, subscription, folder management, and support services for the period 1/1/25 through 12/31/29, in an amount not to exceed $100,113.60 for the Clerk of Courts and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. I am Tavia Golonsky, your Summit County Clerk of Courts. I'm delighted to be here. As stated, this is a 5-year renewal contract that OIT has done before. The last renewal was in 2020. Quadient is a software program that handles our electronic certified mail for all divisions. It handles approximately 20,000 pieces of certified mail per year. Our office has been using Quadient for about 12 years. Just to remind you of certified mail cost, $9.64 for regular certified, $8.16 for electronic certified letter, $9.78 for electronic certified flat, $4.10 just for the green card. We estimate that electronic certified mail will save approximately $150,000 over the 60-month term of the lease. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman McKinney. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk. And I will call Public Safety Committee to a close at 5:14.
I'll open Health and Human Services Committee at 5:14. We have one item this evening, 2025-137, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a sub-grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, the Ohio Department of Children and Youth, and the Ohio Department of Medicaid for grants received by the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services during state fiscal years 2026 and 2027 for the period of 7/1/25 through 6/30/27 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services, and declaring an emergency.
Good evening, Tom Jalbert, Executive Department of Job and Family Services. I'm going to sound like a broken record, repeating from our friends at CSEA, but this is almost identical. This is a biennial housekeeping measure that we're required to do by the state for your state fiscal years 26 and 27. It allows us to accept allocations and sets up audit rules and reporting rules and everything like that. Our agreement is state JFS, state Children and Youth, and state Medicaid.
Any questions from members of the committee for Tom? Council members? Hearing none, may I have a motion? Ms. McKinney moves on 2025-137. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I will close Health and Human Services at 5:16.
And we have one item. We'll open up finance at 5:16. 2025-138, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contracts with certain vendors for title examination services for the period of 5/1/25 through 4/30/27, with one option to renew for additional 2-year period in an amount not to exceed $250,000 per year, for a total amount not to exceed $500,000 for the fiscal officer, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, appreciate it. Krista Williams, Director of the Treasurer's Division, under Kristen Scalise, Fiscal Officer. As Mr. Donofrio had stated, this is a contract that we request to be awarded to the following vendors listed as various vendors in the statement that he had just listed, but it's Titanium Title, American Certified Title, Minnesota Title, and First Security Title. This again will be a 2-year contract running through April of 2027 with the option of one renewal for an additional 2-year period. This, in conjunction with the Summit County Prosecutor's Office, is to file foreclosures on behalf of the lien holders that currently hold liens with Summit County. Each title company will charge no more than $350. Per title search, this includes $225 for the prelim, $75 for title insurance, and $50 for the final judicial report. This is the same pricing we were able to keep as our previous title service contract, and the title companies, if awarded, that submitted proposals are the same companies that were awarded also under the previous contract. Just some stats within the last 4 years, starting now on our 5th year, there have been a total of 941 cases that have been filed through the prosecutor's office on behalf of Fiscal Officer Scalise. Summit County Land Bank will also use these title companies if awarded. Thank you for your consideration.
Any questions? Council, go ahead.
I'll move on this.
What's that?
I'll move on this.
Okay, Ms. Walters moves on 2025-138. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries, and we'll close out finance at 5:18.
Okay, and at 5:18, I will open the Committee of the Whole Committee. We have one item today, 2025-139, resolution declaring it necessary to submit to the electors of the County of Summit the question of the renewal and increase of an existing tax levy for the purpose of mental health and recovery programs for children, adults, and families for the County Service District, and for the acquisition, construction, renovation, financing, maintenance, and operation of the County of Summit Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services, ADM Board facilities, and requesting the fiscal officer to certify to the taxing authority the total current tax valuation of the county and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by a specified number of mills, and declaring an emergency.
So I'll kick this off. This, just as kind of a housekeeping reminder to council, this will be the first of 2 pieces that comes before you, assuming this piece is approved. There's the declaration of necessity, which is before you tonight, which will authorize the county fiscal office to prepare a tax levy certificate setting forth what the actual value that will appear in the ballot language per $100,000 of assessed value. It's estimated that this is a 2.95 mil renewal levy with a 0.5 replace or a 0.5 increase. That 0.5 increase should generate roughly $18 per year per $100,000 of value. But again, that will be on that certificate. Once that certificate is then prepared, a resolution to place this on the ballot will come to you. That will come in on read in on June 2nd and go to committee on June 9th. We have had numerous conversations with ADM staff and board members. I would also acknowledge that Kim Patton from the ADM staff, Jen Pevich, their chief fiscal officer, and Jim Merklin, who chairs the board's finance committee, are all here with us tonight. Unfortunately, Ms. Wade was out of town tonight, so she could not be here. And then the SSAB, one thing that normally occurs in this process is the Social Services Advisory Board votes on a recommendation prior to this coming to council. Because of the number of meetings and things we've had, SSAB will be meeting prior to that June 2nd meeting. So we should have their, hopefully their recommendation coming before the piece to place it on the ballot comes. The ADM board did meet on the 22nd, right? Yes, I was there. I can't remember the date, but to approve this request, and I don't know if you folks have anything else you want to bring, or if you have questions for the folks here from ADM tonight. Certainly there will be, at the June 9th committee, probably a much fuller conversation with Director Wade and all of us at that point. With that, I'm happy to answer questions. Happy to turn it over to our friends from ADM.
Councilman Wilhite?
Yeah, Madam Chair, members of council, I want to thank the administration and certainly the board and staff at ADM and quite frankly all of you for working through the issues and getting us to a point where I think we're in really good position to move forward with this and certainly assist those in our community. The most important reason for moving this forward is to assist those ladies and gentlemen in our community that are suffering from these conditions. So I just want to offer my appreciation for all the hard work that went into this and certainly where we stand now. So with that, I would also like to make a motion for supporting this for approval.
Other members? All right, then we have a motion by Councilman Wilhite. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. And with that, I will adjourn the Committee of the Whole and this evening's